Monday, June 3rd, 2024, I'm calling to order the Middleton School Committee meeting. As a reminder, this meeting is recorded. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, are there any remarks from the public? Okay, moving on to approval of previous minutes. So from the May 6th meeting. All right, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes from May 6th?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for May 6th.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from May 6th, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstains? Okay. So moving along, I'm just going to switch a couple things on the agenda just because we have a big audience here tonight. So we're going to start with the presentation of the tiny house project.
So if it's okay with the chair, we'll turn it over to
Yeah,
Mr. Bryson.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all right with you. So I'm happy we were able to pack the room for you for the last school committee meeting of the school year. Two presentations for you tonight that I'm pretty sure no other school committees are seeing anything like this. The first is a tiny house project, and I have a group of 6th grade boys. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves when they come up here. Come on up, boys, to the mic. Most of the time, when we have presentations, it's projects that have happened in school. This is actually an outside of school project inspired by some work that they have done in class. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Marino.
All right. You want to start our presentation? Mm-hmm.
Who's going to drive?
What?
Who's going to drive?
Right.
Here we go.
All right. You guys
So,
ready?
Marino, you won't hear yourself on that. That's for the TV. So just speak loud so that they can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is Project 4, built by Marino de Pisa.
Grady Martin, Bottom Bertha,
Hunter Scudolaro.
A little louder, Joe.
Michael Sharp, and Santi, who is not here.
Can you guys speak a little louder because we have the AC?
You're gonna have to
okay,
really
yep.
project your voice.
All right. We have a special thanks to Miss Daly and Miss Nasser for the inspiration of this project.
Before the building process.
Want to go up to the
Oh, yeah.
Before the building process, this project started with an in-school activity where we were building tiny houses. Then idea struck. Thanks to Miss Daly and Miss Nasser, this project was a go.
Before the building process part 2, we knew where to start with this project. Blueprints were the first step of this idea.
Day 1 clearing. Setting up the area was the first priority for day 1. Clear out trees, leaf below the area, and rake the leaves.
Where is this?
Behind Marino's house. They owned like a big patch of woods behind their house, so we built it back there. Yes, I did a video of after that big tree in the middle got chopped down, we had to get a bunch of logs out, so video of that.
Day 2, hauling lumber and starting floor bases. Building the base all alone wouldn't be possible. We had some help. Special thanks to Marino's dad and his friend. Each base was placed 16 inches apart. Day 3, flooring. Putting in the subfloor and a few walls. Level the braces, move the plywood, and measure, cut, and screw.
Yeah, some drone footage from that day. We're halfway done. And day 4, starting the walls. Every building needs walls. Each stub was placed 24 inches apart.
Day 5, more walls and windows. Using a leftover window that was sized improperly from a different project, we could start adding some natural light into the fort.
You skipped it.
But now we have a problem. Our original foundation consisted of cinder blocks, but they are starting to sink. This is an issue because we cannot keep our subfloor level.
Our current plan is to lift the structure using a car jack we have received recently. Then we will place a layer of concrete to reduce sinking.
Yeah, most recent photo. Window in and
This is the most recent photo of the fort.
Thank you to all the people who contributed, including teachers and parents. Thank you for your time. Happy retirement, students.
So, boys, come on up to the microphone, because I'm sure they have questions for you.
Oh, this was awesome, guys. Did you guys have fun? Yeah. Who got to use the power tools?
All of us.
All of us.
In all fingers? Get all the fingers?
I think so.
Yeah.
Currently.
What do you have planned for the once it's finished?
So it's gonna be more of a hangout than like a actual tiny home, because like obviously we're not gonna put plumbing out there.
Also gonna try and stay at day.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do like a challenge where you stay out there, like we were gonna put like bunk beds or something. We were also planning on a like a half floor loft almost to put. Then we were going to we were gonna probably use solar power, and we were gonna get power out there and perhaps get like a TV and a console.
Wow, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
And what from school that you were learning prompted you to try this at home?
it's a tiny house project that was kind of created by Miss Dealey and Miss Nasser. It's like a cardboard tiny house, and like make little things like furnish the interior and paint the outside, and yeah.
So it stemmed off a different group's idea of the tiny house, but it was just too big of a group to keep it like organized enough. So we split up into this group right here, and we're all close friends. And this way we could get it done a lot more organized. And the other group ended up never doing the project.
You cardboard, and wooden nails and windows and all those things.
It was originally like 20 people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the skills you think you've learned along the way doing this on your own?
Learning how to do the screw like that. The drill. The drill. I was
Drill?
good at that.
The screw gun?
I have a video of this kid.
Like building
The thing was flying all over the place.
So head in the middle?
Glue it at the wall.
like the rules on how you build it. Like
So building code? So you had to learn about that, 16 inches on center and 24 inches apart, and things like that? What other skills do you think you learned along the way? Aside from using tools and things like that, what other kinds of skills you think you might have learned?
things cost money.
Absolutely.
Drop the wall.
Do not drop the wall, yeah.
My dad has a friend who's a contractor, so he taught us about what to do when there's like a crown in the wood,
Okay.
and how to make sure to place it properly so the whole subfloor doesn't sink below.
And when you come across an idea that, or a problem, how did you guys solve it?
Teamwork.
Great. That's great.
Our first problem was definitely screwing.
Yeah.
Screwing around.
Yeah.
Was it better than video games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good question. Now everyone in Middleton could get their kids to do this.
Well, it gives you guys a good project to have over the summer.
Yeah.
You know, something to work towards, for sure.
And there was an article in the paper today, if you get a chance to look it up, but there were some seniors in Middleton, right? So you guys are in sixth grade, obviously. And they have purchased an old bus, and they're turning the bus into an RV for their senior project. And as they graduate, they're going to travel across the country for their summer of their graduation. And very similar, right? You guys are doing it on a little smaller scale as sixth graders and doing a mini house. And it's pretty cool to see projects like that develop. So you guys did great work, very good work.
Can I take one picture to send to your parents? Composed. All right, ready? Awesome. Awesome presentation.
Also easier when you have two ATVs and a trailer.
That helps, yes. Yes. Yeah, the wheel was a very good invention.
So the wood at the beginning, we were all carrying it down.
Yep.
Then we just tossed it in the trailer.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Yeah, big majority of it. All of like the tiny little pieces that like you can't really carry more than 3 at once.
Yep.
So that they're not like very heavy, but like you didn't knock off balance. You try to take too many.
Yeah.
Good
Awesome
work,
job,
guys.
guys.
Great job, guys.
And Ms. Clifford, what do you need?
I can, is it on that, or do you want me to put my computer up?
We're casting from one of them.
No, I have slides.
Oh, slides.
Those are in the drive. So the
The
school
kids
committee.
are gonna go over those slides, so we wanna put those up. Okay, I have my computer
You know, like, oh, let's take what we learned and.
So while that gets set up, our second presentation is a group of fourth graders that I'm going to let them introduce themselves as well. But you've been hearing a lot throughout the year about Ms. Clipfell's trip to Patagonia. And we are here, we're going to use the VR headsets, so you're going to get to actually experience the trip. And our students have a presentation about how it was used in the classroom and their experience with it. So Ms. Clipfell, I turn it over to you.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm excited to be back. I feel like you've seen me a couple times now. Happy to have some helpers here. We're really excited to give you a chance to go through and actually experience the VR. Headsets experience Patagonia in VR. So we're going to just very briefly talk you through what we did in the classroom, so you just have a sense of how the VR headsets translated into the classroom. So just a really quick overview. There are 4. So I've spent, as you know, a lot of time editing, storyboarding. I've had some great instruction from the National Geographic and Disney Plus immersive team, and really have learned how to edit this footage. So I took hours of footage from Patagonia and really narrowed it down into 4 locations. So the students in a minute will kind of talk you through that. But there are 4 locations. They're about 1 to 2 minute videos. And then each location, the students completed an activity to go with it. And each location correlated with a different content area. So one was a reading and writing activity, one was a math activity, one was a science, and one was a social studies. And so they had a chance to immerse themselves in Patagonia, right? Sights, sounds, really experience it in 360. After they picked one location, I made a Google site that had for them all 4 locations. And then what they did after, let's say they did the Bernal Glacier first, they would click on it and it brought them to their learning activity. So this one in particular was a math activity. Each location and activity was kind of like a puzzle that revealed a clue word. So they had to figure out the 4 clue words. They all related to building an explorer mindset. And then they put those into a Google form, and then they got to earn their Patagonia Explorer badge. So they're going to give you a brief overview of each video so you can kind of get a feel for what it will be like, and then the activity that we did with it. Nice and loud.
The first stop we went to was Isla de los Estados, or Staten Island.
Oh, we gotta get you on the microphone.
So just walk over to the mic and nice and loud.
The first stop we went to was Isla de los Estados, or Staten Island. Make sure you listen for the wind. It's almost impossible to miss. After we did the VR video, we read about the lighthouse at the end of the world. Once we read about that, the conservation work on the island, and lastly a little bit about king penguins, we did an activity on what we read. We figured out the first clue word, which was explorer, and we were off to the next VR video.
Karakikan National Park was one of the most favorited place in the VR headset in my class. When you put it on, you will see a cascading waterfall, a sub-Antarctic forest, and elephant seals that have been affected by all the plastic that ends up there. It's amazing that nobody really lives down there, but there's still so much plastic. The activity we did was to make a puzzle that gave us the clue word and taught us about plastic pollution. When you're in the VR headset, the elephant seals are never going to get to you, and when you're in the sub-Antarctic forest, look up.
Mrs. Clifford, I like the hula hoops as well. Was that to kind of...
Yeah, so we were really lucky that we were able to have enough headsets for every single student to have one, which extremely fortunate. I'm in a cohort. There was 10 of us who did this immersive project with National Geographic, and we were the only ones that every single person had their own headset. And so I was just trying to plan out. This was one of those oh, how's this going to go? I'm not sure. We're going to try it. So I was trying to plan out. And if you have an experience with VR headset, it gives you a boundary. So I was really just trying to plan out how does that work with 16 students in a classroom. And so we grabbed some hula hoops. I used those as the boundary, so it made it really efficient, smooth. Each headset had a color that I put in the color headset, so everybody knew where they were going to stand, and no one was bumping into each other. If you've never used one, you are there. You're going to feel like you're in Patagonia, so you don't see people walking by. You don't. So it was just a way to really organize having enough headsets for every single kid in a classroom, and it worked great.
Good idea.
The next stop is the ship where Miss Clipwell slept and learned for 2 weeks. On the ship, there's a huge library, and you will see the observation deck where you can look out the huge windows to see amazing views. You will also go on the bridge with the captain. The pictures are way different than it looks on the VR because you can look all directions to see how big it really is. Miss Clipwell got to go on the bow in the Chilean fjords, and you will get to see it in the video too. After, we got to use a map and a compass to answer questions, so we can match it with letters to get the word curious. As you explore the extraordinary view of the Bernal Glacier, you will see how ginormous it really is. On our project, we had to answer math problems to reveal a mystery picture. As the climate started to change, the Bernal Glacier has started to melt as the ocean has started to rise. These are all facts about what I've learned while exploring the Bernal Glacier. Lastly, after answering all of the questions and learning so much fun facts about Patagonia, the mystery word was empowered.
After we learned about everything and we got all the clue words, we entered them into a Google form on the Google site and earned our Patagonia Explorer badges.
After seeing Patagonia in VR and all the plastic in this far, far away place, even near elephant seals, we decided to start a mission in our school called Howie's Planet Protectors. We made slides, video posters, and even badges to teach other classes how important it is to keep our Earth clean. We linked the video for you to watch later. Now let's not keep you waiting and let you explore Patagonia in 360 degrees for yourself.
So you're going to get a chance. I believe they're kind of set up for you. If you've never used a headset before, I'll just give you a quick overview. There are 4 videos, so they all correlate to the locations the student just talked to you about. You can pick whichever one you're most interested in first. So one of them is the National Geographic Explorer, Bernal Glacier, whichever one. You can use your right hand or left hand. You're just going to hit the A, so put it on your head. The volume is on the bottom, so there are some voiceovers. You'll hear my lovely voice in there. So if you want to turn it up or turn it down, there's a plus or minus. But essentially, you're just going to put it on. You're going to see the 4 videos. You can kind of aim and shoot. It feels kind of intuitive once you're in there. And go ahead and check it out.
And we have IT support if needed.
And you guys, these helpers can help as well.
So we're clicking on the National Geographic one?
Yes.
Messes me up.
Julie, clicking on the National Geographic.
There's any of the 4. So there should be just 4 videos, and you can pick any of them. So the ship, the Bernal Glacier, the Karakinka, that was a big hit with the students. And we can help you if you need it. We can help you get started on a video. Julie, can we ask? Yeah, you can undo this. Oh, up here. Okay.
Nope, that's probably not where I'm supposed to be.
Here, if you give it.
Yeah, so
We'll start from the top. Start from the first one.
Guys, you can go help anyone who needs to start a video.
You look up, down, around, behind you. Turn around, you'll see.
I did. I don't know what I'm looking at.
I think I'm in the restaurant.
I think I'm underwater.
Start a video.
Look straight ahead. Does it give you? It's maybe whatever I tipped on.
What's up?
Don't you gotta know?
I've done it already. Yes.
I'm in the library.
One of my quick-
I wanted to see all the reactions.
It's funny.
Great. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll get it on for you. I thought they set it up so
Okay.
we were ready for you.
All right, I'm gonna start at the Vernal Glacier.
Joe, you see the sky?
I just see the sky, yeah, I don't see any options.
Catalina, come help him get the right video.
Need a lot of
We have it casting also, so you guys can see. Oh, that's cool.
I'm good.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
I'm on the bow of the boat.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when the boats that are bobbing up and down.
Hey, Liam, how do I get out of one and into the other?
Here, you should, I think you're sitting in the exact spot. I think you should be able to
Ryan, are you casting on the screen? Yeah, that's you, I think.
video options now.
Ah,
Oh, I'm at the Vernal Glacier now.
Right now, I just see everybody
Do
here.
any video you want.
I'm still sitting in the library.
I'm not anywhere. I'm doing like a tutorial. Dave, are you anywhere?
I'm in a tutorial too.
All right, put mine on.
Set?
No, I clearly should have.
It makes me like a little bit like. It is cool though.
You can adjust them. They can
You
be
can
adjusted.
adjust it.
Yeah, make sure it's nice and tight. It makes it.
Really, they're getting a tutorial
The
too.
controllers, I just move around.
Oh, there's two controllers. Oh, I'm using. Can you tell me what's wrong here? Here,
Ryan, remember, watch out for those waves.
Yeah, it's definitely windy.
She's gonna borrow yours.
Yeah,
Not
no,
sure
please.
what's going on with hers. Like that I'm not in your.
It's probably
It's not working with that.
face. I am with his video games. Stuff like that.
It's okay.
Wait, is that that one that you can drink?
Okay, okay.
Joe, are you able to see anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the elephant seals.
There we go.
That's all right. I mean, it's just you can do the intro of it. Yeah.
Screen break, gonna try it?
Not his thing.
He gets motion sick.
I kind of was like.
Yeah.
I think you're over here. Do you want to see the forest? Yes. You.
I'm good. Keep going.
I'm in the middle of
This
the
one
woods.
has just never been used.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
making her go through the tutorial to get it.
Actually, I'm gonna put it all over Facebook.
Well, there's the waterfall.
Oh, I first heard it's like that.
Over here.
Well, wait, yeah.
What about the Patagonia? Come across that yet?
I don't have that yet.
Isn't that wild?
Don't start with me. You're sitting too close. You're gonna feel the wrath
They're
of
gonna
that.
punch me like, look at that tree.
Somebody should be fly fishing
How's it going? Good? Seeing a lot? Is it like a
Yes, it really is. It's much cooler than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more like a video.
Really?
That's what I use it for. Yes.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It's like a personal trainer, like 4 feet in front of you. And you go through literally, it's a full boxing regimen. It's unbelievable.
No, put your this thing and press, like, aim it, like A on the arrow. I know, thankfully.
So is it more like a sea lion or?
Yes.
One of those massive.
Here we will take the the lighthouse.
Okay, now I am looking at. Oh wow.
big trash.
It's asking me to log in. I'm not quite sure.
Joe, do you want to
I only
use?
need my 12-year-old using technology.
It's awesome. Breathe.
Okay, and I'm back.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm the same way. That's why I won't put them on. Let me just look through real quick.
So I'm not in the thing.
Okay.
Will it restart?
No, I just want to see for a second. I can't think.
First put it on it, and I was just literally in the library.
Does it?
You know which one is it?
I have the plastic one right here, if you want to
Okay,
come
so
over
it's
here.
like,
And then it
okay.
goes to the
I
left.
have, it's up, but I
So
don't
it
know which
wasn't
one
like
it
you
is.
just stay there.
No, and they went through, like it moved.
Which one is the plastic one?
It was the
The end of one video.
It's the natural part.
Yeah, it's the national park.
The natural part.
I get it. I get it.
Disorienting.
Yeah.
Straight ahead, you'll spot the civilization. More than 30,000 euro creatures. Look how we have a
Oh, yeah, sure.
He wakes up in the morning and he'll go out and down at the basement. But he needs like a big space that talks about the boundaries. Like there's not going to be like clear the entire garage.
Yeah, all that, all the movement if you think about it.
Yes, and if you're like I've been with him, he tried to do it in the tunnel.
The widescreen TV.
Yeah.
Just as far as when they're cleaning them back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we,
Also weird because when
come
you're
back?
looking at it, then see this.
All right, this
Like
was
out the
very
corner,
cool,
you
you
can still
guys.
see that.
Very cool.
Right.
Like
To have
having
it.
that in your hand. Yeah.
Wait, Mom, do you want to watch it?
Yeah, so that was pretty much, those were the videos. You got to experience some little pieces of it. I think somebody mentioned it, I forget who, but it was really interesting, I think, because I had been sending pictures back, right, while I was on Expedition. And then I had showed them the 360 pictures just like embedded on a website. So then to go from like just pictures to 360 embedded, then to actually do the headset, you got a lot of comments like, I can't believe how big it is, or standing on the bow of the ship if you got to that one, like the ship is huge and you feel, I mean, that's how big you feel, right? It's huge. So you really get a better perspective when you're able to experience that, like, all-around immersive 360. And then it really, I mean, it sparks motivation, engagement. It's been really, really wonderful to do. Did you guys enjoy doing it?
Yeah.
I think even just they saw the headsets in the classroom, and it was like, oh, what are we doing today? And you had kids going by, what are you guys doing? So all around it has been a great experience, and we're glad we could share it with you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Great work to our fourth grade team. Presenting that for sure. You guys are very good up at the microphone, sharing your thoughts and speaking very clearly. So very good job with that as well. It's not easy to stand up in front of a group of adults you don't know and share those things. You'd be very proud of that also. Mrs. Klippfeld, thank you as well for being a dock jumper, as we often talk about, and jumping right in and trying different things, and we very much appreciate that also. Barbara as well, a fellow dock jumper who has been helping with the Little House project as well. So thank you for that. If it's okay with the chair, if I can just quickly introduce Hakan. Hakan has been a trusted partner of the Tri-Town. He's really helped us along this path, learning about VR across all three towns. They've done some professional development for us over the course of this school year as well. And when I told him that Julie was going to be presenting here tonight with the fourth grade kids, he travels the world, talks about this stuff, and he said, I have to see school committee members in VR goggles because that's not something you see every day. So if it's okay with the chair if I can recognize him real quick.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks for having me. I've been an entrepreneur in the education technology space 23 years.
Up to the mic,
This is my very first school committee meeting ever in 23 years. So that's been a great honor to be here. You guys did amazing. Julie, you're probably one of the best teachers I've known in these 23 years. And you possibly may be the first school committee to actually have these VR headsets at a meeting. First time, and even some of the work we're doing across 3 towns, you're one of the very first, school districts in the country who's adopting this early on. And to me, exciting part is their entire future education is going to be immersive. So this is just the first year. Consider this the first year, and congrats. I heard that you may have gotten some Apple headsets as well. And as we cannot live without our phones, this is the first year Apple just got into this. Meta, former Facebook, is now leading with these headsets, but I'm really excited that you guys are really embracing this early on, and as this becomes more and more part of our school and our daily lives. What you've done, bring the kids to where you were, where some of them may not even have left the city, the states. This is very, very exciting. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, Akan.
I appreciate it.
And I think as this committee has heard me talk about in the past, you think about what workforce will look like, what schooling will look like. A child born today in 2024 will enter kindergarten at Fuller Meadow in 2029 and will become a freshman in high school in 2038 and will graduate high school in 2042 and will enter the workforce if they decide to go to a 4-year college in 2046, right? So as we sit here today and think about that, the child that will be walking through the door of kindergarten in 5 years will enter the workforce somewhere between 2042 and 2046. It really starts to make us think about, as you've heard me say before, what are the knowledge, skills, dispositions, and competencies we know our kids are going to need in order for to be successful in that workforce. I can't tell you what the workforce is going to look like in 5 years, let alone somewhere in 2042 to 2046. But I think learning about these things and seeing what the trends are and just staying current and seeing where things go, I think it positions Middleton well. And so we just want to thank the committee for being so supportive of the work we do as we think about the future of public school and education. So thank you all very much as well for allowing us the opportunity to present this to you tonight. So we appreciate it for sure. All right.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Bryson, anything else before we close?
No, I just give everybody thank you for coming and give you permission to leave. They get into the boring parts now. So if you want to, you don't have to. You can stay if you want, but now would be a good time to.
Picture too? Like,
yeah.
we slipped all you want to get in. Sorry, I'm being a total.
Right up to the mic like the other kids were.
Yeah, they really were very good.
Can I come behind?
Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
Didn't the
Yeah,
mic's too
Becky,
high?
there you go.
I think the mic's too high.
Just kind of move it to the side.
Are we in the way?
No, I'm tall. Not really tall, but I'm above. All right, everybody smile. Patagonia! Yay!
Thanks for having us.
I'm literally going to sit rolling over there house.
Julie and Ryan, thank you as well for setting everything up and getting us all organized and ready to go tonight.
So the little guy.
He does.
Have fun.
All of them.
Night, everybody.
They did a better job speaking to the group than
All right.
Back to our regularly scheduled
Back to our
programming.
regularly scheduled program. I'm going to jump in with the policy on reorg.
Yeah.
All right. So for the committee, in the drive tonight, we have the policy BDA, which is school committee reorg. For those of you that have been on the committee a while, you understand how this all works. If you're newer to the committee, what we have to do after the elections every year is to reorganize. I'm just going to read the policy aloud. For the purpose of organizing the school committee at its first regular meeting following the district's annual elections, will elect from its membership a chair, a vice chair, and a clerk, all of whom will hold their respective offices for the term of 1 year or until a successor is elected. In the event chair and vice chair are no longer members of the committee, the senior members will act as chair pro tem. A majority of the members constitute a quorum. The election proceeds as follows. Nominations for the office of chair will be made from the floor. The chair will be elected by a majority roll call of members present and voting. If no nominee receives a majority vote, the election was declared null and void, and nominations will be reopened. Upon election, the chair will then preside, call for the election of a vice chair and a clerk, the same way that we sought election for a chair. Any vacancy among officers occurring between meetings will be filled by members elected by the committee. The election will be conducted as described above. Following election of its officers, the school committee may proceed into the rest of its agenda. So I'd be seeking from the floor, which is all of us sitting around the table, a motion for someone to be chair of the Middleton School Committee for the 24-25 school year. Or a nomination, not a motion.
I'll make
Nomination.
nomination for Michelle Aiken to be the chair.
All right. Do we have, hold before you second that, I just have to ask, are there any other nominations for anyone else to be chair? Hearing none, we'll be seeking a second on that nomination.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Congratulations,
Oh,
Chair
thank
Aiken.
you.
Yes. So you now have to do the same for vice chair and clerk.
Just real quick, we all know this is my third year. This will be the third year, so I don't mind doing it. I know what to expect, but you know, if things come up during the year, you know, don't be surprised if I ask for help. Like if there's anything outside of school committee wise, you know, that needs attention. That being said, would anyone like to nominate a vice chair?
Who's our current vice chair?
Dave.
Then I will nominate Dave.
I'll second that.
Hold on, before you second, we just have to see if there's
Oh,
any other.
sorry.
That's okay. Any other nominations for vice chair? Okay, so now you can second it, Jessica.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of Dave DeBonis for vice chair for the 2024-2025 school year, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
Coveted clerk role.
Jackie, were you the clerk before?
I was clerk of Tri-Town, and my clerk here though too, I think.
I don't recall.
I don't know who's the clerk. Who is
I was the clerk at one point, and I only found out during a meeting when someone said you're the clerk, and I was like, oh, I am, all right.
I think it might have been me.
It's a
but-
pretty light lift.
Yeah, yeah.
Very.
It really is, I mean.
Very.
Yes.
Seeking a nomination.
So I'm seeking a nomination for clerk.
I nominate Jackie.
Sure.
Any other nominations? All right, I will second Jackie as clerk. All in favor of Jackie as clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
We'll be the others. Other one and other two. Yep.
Go ahead.
So the
Perfect,
TTU
Ryan.
committee, I will be one of the 3 seats, and then we need 2 others. And typically we kind of just volunteer.
Exactly. This is not nominations and votes.
Dave, you've never been on that committee.
I'll volunteer for the TTU.
Okay. Would anybody else like to volunteer for that?
I would like to just continue on that,
Okay.
unless anybody wants a new chance.
Okay. No, that's fine with me. And then the TTU policy review subcommittee. Like to stay on
I
as
would
that?
like to stay on. If I could stay on this.
God bless you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
work.
okay with the committee having
Yeah.
the
one
right, the
person.
same people.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. Just so if anyone,
Yeah.
thanks for Dave for volunteering for that.
Okay.
This
And
time
then-
it's voluntary. It was voluntary. Last time it
Exactly.
was thrusted.
Exactly.
But you've done such a good job.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Jackie, do you want to stay as the CPAC liaison?
Yes, please.
Colleen.
Colleen is the school committee recording secretary. The negotiation subcommittee, I'll be taking one of those seats. Would anyone like to volunteer for the other one?
We're going into a negotiations year, right?
That'll be a busy committee.
Yep. I don't know what the schedule will be like. Last time around, I think it was Monday afternoons.
Just for the negotiations.
Yeah. So be looking for another volunteer and then an alternate.
I'll volunteer.
Be an alternate.
You want an alternate?
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Okay.
heavy lift.
What's
It'll be
that?
busy.
Is it a heavy lift?
It,
Busy?
once it takes off, it's heavy.
Yeah.
But
I'll
Okay.
volunteer.
We're hoping, I've been talking with everybody and really trying to keep it tight as we can this
Yeah.
year, like a January to June timeframe, and talking with
Ooh.
our
Awesome.
colleagues and across the 3 towns, co-presidents. Really, it's some work we can do in the fall maybe to get a little head start on things. So I think that's really the goal.
And last time we were able to schedule meetings, like 2 or 3 meetings out in
Yes.
advance. So it's not like I'm texting you last minute, oh, we're gonna meet now,
Yeah.
Usually you can plan for it.
What's TTU? Once a month? Once a month?
It's every other month?
It's every other
Like
month?
four times a year. Yeah.
Yeah. The communications liaison.
what is that?
That in the past has been, Natasha, if the committee ever wanted to do sort of contemporaneous notes outside of minutes. Remember years ago we did that? We kind of took some notes and we had a Facebook page for a little while and we put them up on there. But it would just be if matters came up, helping with any types of communications as it relates to the school committee. It's not
Like,
a,
I could put pictures from tonight on there?
yes,
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good
I will do
example.
that.
Just check with the principals, make sure we
Well, yeah, yeah.
don't have
And I
any
know
no
all
photo.
the, yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna send it to the parents, but, yeah, okay.
So stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, got it. Yeah, I'll do that if
Great.
nobody else.
The FinCom liaison is usually the chair. Oh, the school handbook, sorry.
That's working with the two principals. That's like once a summer, twice a summer, 3 times a summer, just working with Jeff and Jen, finalizing the handbook, making sure everything's copacetic. So that's pretty quick, easy lift. Summertime with the principals.
I've done that in the past. It is a pretty light lift. I'm happy to do it again.
Okay. And then the FinCom liaison is the chair. Okay, so I'll do that. The PTO liaison. Would anyone like to do that?
What is that about?
I did it in the past. I kind of just checked in with the president of the PTO a couple times a year, or if, you know, I wanted some communication to go out about something, she may put it on her Facebook page. We've had our members from the PTO come to the meeting to just, you know, give us a plan of what their plan is for the year, field trip wise, and it's pretty simple. Would you want to do that?
I'll do that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. The health and wellness liaison.
So that will be this year, I'll say a little bit more than in past years across the 3 towns. As the committee may recall from previous conversations, we're going to have to start a breakfast program. If we want to keep free lunch, we have to start a breakfast program. That's sort of the conversation with the state. As you know, we're working to still fill that food service liaison role. Remember, we talked about that at TTU committee, so that posting is going to go out soon. So it'd be interacting a little bit with that person. We do have to update health and wellness policies. We do have to update, Steve, you went through the audit. We have a corrective action plan, some things we have to update with that. So we'll be working with Steve Greenberg, the food service liaison person, probably helping us get a little breakfast program launched off the ground, things like that.
I can do that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
With the food background.
Yes.
That's perfect, Joe.
And the safety liaison.
Safety liaison is just a member of the committee that helps. Like, so the year we did Crisis Go, we had a member of each committee who was helping with that. And anytime, any sort of quarterly safety meetings that we have, interfacing with police and fire that we do regularly, just having a school committee member available as a rep, if that's something of interest to anybody.
I can do that. It's like a per
Yeah.
case basis.
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I can do that.
Oh, I missed.
I was gonna say we missed facilities.
I did.
think I'm
I'm
on
sorry.
that one.
I missed.
We had one meeting and I missed it.
The facilities liaison. Sorry.
Give me another chance.
Do you want to still do that?
I'll do it.
That's great. Perfect. And you know what? It will be a little bit more. We are moving ahead with the
Will I be on the
feasibility
roof?
study. What's that?
Will I be on the roof?
We can get you on the roof if you'd
Okay,
like.
I'll do it.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll do it.
But we are moving ahead with the feasibility study down at 4 Middleton, as we had talked about.
Yeah.
So you've got some experience with that, so I think that'd be good,
Yeah,
Natasha.
okay, sure.
Okay. Did I skip anything else by mistake?
Dave.
Dave said he was going to do
Safety.
the safety lead.
And then I usually do Crest and NEC and just try to be the liaison between the delegation and the committee.
Okay. All right.
Happy to do those still.
And then the signatory authorization.
I can't get my drive open. Can you find the it's in there somewhere, Michelle. If you guys look for it in your drive, for whatever reason mine's not working, we have to, Natasha, you are currently that person, I believe, the signatory for payroll and stuff like that.
Which one is it? Is it this one?
Yeah.
Says Town of Middleton School Committee.
Yeah, so it's a Word doc, and it says the following votes were taken at an affirmed and duly posted meeting. The Middleton School Committee votes pursuant to MGL Chapter 41 to authorize the following member to sign payroll and warrants on behalf of the committee. And then we have vendor warrants on the behalf of the McKinney committee as well. We have a designated person and an alternate. So, for example, tonight, the folder just didn't make it here tonight, so we're going to need you, Natasha, at some point this week if you can get over to central office. Because
Okay.
you are currently that person.
Okay.
To sign bills and payroll as the representative person tonight.
Okay.
But moving forward, beyond tonight, we need a designated person to do that when we have bills and payroll to sign. So we need a designated person and an alternate, and we need to motion it and vote it so we can submit this back to town hall, and you guys would all have to sign this document as well.
Okay.
And
Next
Carlene will
meeting.
help circulate that.
Next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make Natasha, or I'll make a motion to make Natasha the designated signatory of the Middleton School Committee.
You okay with that?
But,
Is
yeah,
that
like how
okay?
often do I have to go out there?
It's not that often. During COVID, it was a ton.
Yeah, that's what I, okay.
It
so
usually happens at these meetings, but
I
when
was,
we,
I drove by your truck at 4 o'clock. I dropped off at Boxford Common. I
Yeah,
should've
yeah.
stopped in and.
yeah, it's signed right there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's fine, whatever. It's not that far.
It won't be a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
So we just need this like motion, seconded, voted, and then we need an alternate motion, seconded, voted, just for the town hall to have it on record. So Michelle made a motion for Natasha.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, and was there a second one?
Just an alternate.
Oh, I can be the alternate person.
Okay. So someone should motion Michelle that.
So I'll make a motion that Michelle's the alternate.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor that I'm the alternate person, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
Great, thank you guys. And Natasha, if you could this week at some point, just swing by and
Yes,
see
I'll
Colleen.
put that in my calendar
Awesome.
because I will.
Thanks.
forget.
Colleen, it's CU, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then charting the course.
That's just a reminder, if you've not taken charting the course, please make sure you talk to Antoinette about signing up for that if you are a new member and haven't taken charting the course. It's a good course to have as a school committee member.
Okay. I think that's it.
That is it for that section.
How's it going, Steve?
Hey, guys. Who are you?
Good.
All right, let's include it in the drive's financial report for June. And the numbers start to get a little clearer as we go forward. So if you take a quick peek at that, and we scroll into probably the third page, or fourth page, maybe it's fifth page, we start to see in terms of the general fund where we think we're going to land. And this will be, of course, managing some of the revolving accounts and preserving some of those circumstances, those funds for a rainier day if needed. But then we would also be looking at taking care of some other things like HEPA filters. So that's not reflected in here, but that would be another 15 or 18. And then any other unknowns that are coming. So even though I show you this and we say, okay, yeah, this is the uncommitted balance, everything is subject to change and it is moving constantly, especially through the course of this month. But this is just a quick report. Nothing extraordinary throughout this year, thank goodness. It's been pretty reasonable, and consistent. So there was no extraordinary special ed pieces. Transportation, we saw how that played. No extraordinary or catastrophic building failures or anything like that. So, yeah, decent year and from a financial perspective, in my opinion. I'll stop talking and answer any questions.
I'll just add to what Steve said, as he talked about, there's still a month to go in the fiscal year, and at our last meeting, the committee voted for superintendent in consultation with the chair to do any closeout on FY24. So you and I'd be working, June and July, just to try to close out. As Steve said, any tailings that we may have, look to invest back into the schools. I think one of the things we've talked about is all the HEPA filters that the committee invested in during the COVID year. Those filters are 5-year filters. It's a good idea to, if we have some tailings, to replace those filters, just to kind of take care of those for the next 5 years. So if anything else comes up, those are in good shape and ready to roll. But yeah, we'll be looking to close out. You and I will gather as we get closer to the end of the month.
Yep.
Okay. No, I don't have any questions.
Thank you for that. And let's see, next piece, FY25 budget update. So as everyone knows, the override did not pass at the ballot. And so that means the budget that was proposed and voted by the school committee will be reduced by $375,000. What does that mean for a long story short? What does that mean, long story short? That any of the new initiatives that we were planning will not be implemented. The one piece that we will have to navigate will be special education teacher, that we may need to take care of that. What I'd say to the committee is that we will work within the footprint of our budget, that as we progress through the years, we get into July and August, and we see how things shake out as far as salaries, it should work within the footprint of the budget. These are the things that one of the things we constantly watch, because what we develop a budget for in the fall and in the winter and how things actually play out in the following fall is a different piece altogether. But we are keeping an eye on it. I'm comfortable with the way things are right now and where they will go. Of course, it's unfortunate that we didn't get that override, because that would have been a huge win for the school community and the town. Don't count us out yet. Anyways, that's what I got. Questions, feedback, concerns?
One of the line items on that override was, I know that we're gonna have to work around the special ed teacher, but, the third grade, the new third grade section.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we looking at for classroom sizes in third grade if we don't add a new section?
Is it all right, Jeff, I bring you into that one?
It'll be right around 1920.
19 or 20? Okay. Okay, and how, I know Jen's not here, but how are kindergarten registrations looking right now?
Enrollment's still low. We'll continue to monitor it. It's still early enough that it's something that's worth monitoring still.
Okay.
We've not seen a massive, increase of enrollment. And if that's the case, that may be helpful in terms of trying to stay within the footprint of the budget to try to do other things as it relates to special education. But we'll continue to monitor that through June, early July, and I think at that point, we'll kind of make a decision like, looks like it either is happening or isn't happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we under 100 now for the incoming?
I have to look, Natasha, if you want to give me a minute. I can tell you.
Steve, when does the budget have to be approved by? When do you have to have?
Well, this is the way it ended up as far as town meeting's concerned, so that's what the budget is. If we do want to memorialize that, then the school committee could vote it, and we have it in the minutes that the approved budget of the budget that the school committee is approving for FY '25 will be this amount. And if you give me a few minutes, I'll dig that up.
I'm just curious if there was like a deadline or.
I'm sorry, Dave.
I didn't know if there was a deadline. I didn't know if there was a time.
No, I don't think there's a deadline.
No, we have a number.
Yes.
We have a number.
No, I know. I just,
Yeah.
if there was going to be any
Because it was voted at
modifications.
town meeting. You're
Right,
absolutely
right.
correct.
Yeah, I just know if there was going to be any modifications or whatever. If there's
No,
just
when we talk about it, again, working within the footprint,
Yeah.
these were the things that we proposed for enhancements within the district. They're not gonna happen. And when you look at all of those pieces, when you look at all of the math that we did as a group building that budget, it's $375,000. So they just don't go into play.
I think a difference in a way to think about it, guys, is that so in Boxford, we had a $600,000 override that we brought forward to town meeting. And here in Middleton, we had a $375,000 override. The 375 here was to grow and expand and develop, right? The 600 in Boxford was to, let's kind of say, keep the lights on, so to speak. So if that $600,000 override didn't pass in Boxford, we would be making $600,000 worth of reductions and redefining what school experience is like in the Boxford Public Schools. Because this was extra and expansion, and you guys thinking years down the road, no one loses a job in this scenario of the 375 because it was all things that we were looking to grow and develop in future years. So, we're in a good position still, and certainly we'll, regroup next year and talk about, is it something we want to bring forward next year as we develop a budget and see what the town ends up doing as well, because I think the needs are still going to be there for the town also. So we'll have to see how all that unfolds next fiscal year, but right now, we're still in pretty decent shape.
I have a question. Sorry. At town meeting, it was said, I believe the number was 80%. Someone said our elementary schools are at 80% capacity, which I was like, I would think, I don't really know what capacity is. When I think of capacity, I think of all the grades. If we have 5 sections, they're all at 20.
Correct.
And we're on the cusp of this is not good.
Correct.
Do you think we're at 80%? I didn't feel like we had that much wiggle room.
That number doesn't resonate with me.
Okay. All right.
Did that come
I'd
up
have to take
with
a deeper
regard to
dive on it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
Did that come up with regard to the facility piece, when we were talking about the roof?
Yes.
Yeah, the young lady that asked the questions about should we build another school? Yeah, I talked with her after.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, no.
Okay.
I think of 80% capacity as 20% of our rooms are empty.
Right.
20% of our rooms are not empty.
Well, I was trying to think. I'm like, I don't think at either school we have
No.
any
We don't have any
extra
empty
locked rooms.
classrooms. We have offices and things like
We
that.
have a couple of classrooms, they're used, there's not open space. but
Okay.
they're
Right.
not- They are not grade level classrooms.
Got it.
Yeah, but here, if I think of that room down there, that's not a classroom, but it's the reading room. Right. Those people have to go somewhere.
Somewhere,
Right.
right.
They need a
So,
space.
like Barbara Dealey's innovation class is in a classroom
Yeah.
right now. And we actually had 2 special education teachers are doubled up in a full classroom as well.
I would contend that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right. I've worked in places where specialists are on carts.
Yeah.
The reading teacher's on a cart going into the classrooms. That's not a conducive situation
No,
to
yeah.
teaching and learning for sure.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So the change of the specials classes, Artivation was going to be changed into the coding. Is that no longer happening?
We're still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
yeah. We have to figure a few things out of
Okay.
where they're gonna, how many we're gonna have, what we're gonna have.
What we were trying to fix, as you guys remember from the budget meetings, was that in Middleton, our FTE is not a
Right.
perfect match to the classroom
Right.
sections we have. So we were trying to okay, let's get everything to 0.7 at Fuller, let's get everything to 1.0 at Howe. And now, the model is 0.6 and some assistant time, 0.5 and some assistant time. And we were trying to, in the override, fix that for the long term. I think that's probably still gonna come up again next year about trying to fix that for the long term, because that's not it's not a great model, the way that's done. But as Jeff said, yeah, Brian and I and Jeff and Jen are pulling all the schedules and seeing what the FTE is and how we can navigate it all.
Okay. And then the kindergarten aides
Out.
is not happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just emailed myself to get your enrollment, Tasha. I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I was surprised just because it passed so well at town meeting. I was surprised at the ballot. But it doesn't sound like anybody's losing jobs over it, so.
Yeah, it was growth potential in fixing things that needed to be fixed. As I said, as opposed to where we were in Boxford, where it would have been taking $600,000 away from the budget, and now you're talking large swaths of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so come our summer meeting, will we be voting on any budgetary items for next year?
Maybe special ed just to memorialize it
Yeah.
if it lands there, but if it all stays within the footprint of the budget,
Right.
typically we don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing,
If we go above and beyond the budget, we'd be saying to you guys, we need a vote on it.
Mhm.
But if we're staying within the footprint, we should be okay.
great.
All right.
All right, payroll, no gifts and grants tonight. Jeff, you don't have any, do you? No. Payroll calendar is in the drive. This is something that payroll puts together, and we bring it to the school committee to vote and sort of bless the payroll calendar. It's something that Steve and Brian and payroll and HR work together on. Again, my drive is not working, so it's the one that says
You got it?
pay schedule, probably.
Well, yeah.
Yep. And so that is the payroll calendar for 26 pay employees, for, if you scroll down a little bit, 21 pay employees. So it's just the dates and the times and lump sum if someone decides to take that at the end of the year. So it's something that this time of year we bring to the school committee to just memorialize with a motion, knowing that it's been fully vetted by HR and payroll.
I'll make the motion to approve the FY25 Middleton payroll schedule.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
Summer date, last year, if I scroll back to July of last year, we met once in the summer, and I guess that's question one. Are folks comfortable doing sort of that midsummer meeting is what we did last year? And if so, last year we met on July 31st. We kind of sort of picked the middle of the summer. And so I wanted to kind of get a sense from the committee what you would like to do this summer, and what day would you like to do it on?
Does anybody have any vacations the end of July? I'm going to be away the week of the 22nd.
31st works for me.
31st works for me.
The
Wednesday.
31st?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Same.
So it's a
time.
Wednesday, the 31st. Want to do it at 5:30? That work? Sure. That work for you?
It does. I'm just thinking, would you guys be opposed to it being the Monday, the 29th? And the only reason I can't...
I
Okay.
I get out of work at 6:30 that
Okay,
night.
no problem. Only because I think the other two towns might try to squeeze meetings in that week. So I see if I can move them to Monday. I was just thinking Monday because you guys are usually Monday.
Yeah.
But let's keep, you guys are first out of the gate, so let's keep it on the 31st.
Okay.
31st at 5:30, MSC meeting.
Here, obviously, right?
Yep.
Fuller. Colin, will you do an invite for that? we do an invite tomorrow and include everybody that we always include? That'd be great. All right, and then for next year, wanted to get from the committee, do you want to stick to Mondays at 5:30? Is there something else you'd rather do? Does that time still work for everybody? Because what Antoinette and Colleen will do is they'll take this information tonight and at the summer meeting say, here's all our meetings for the whole year, depending on what you guys tell us tonight. So I just want to have that conversation as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with keeping it the same. Yeah. Okay.
So we're going to say the first Monday of the month at 5:30.
Yes.
Okay, very good. NEC out-of-district transportation study. This is just an informational item. So as you guys know, NEC is one of our two out-of-district special ed providers that services students from across the Tri-Town and across the greater North Shore area. We have been meeting and talking about how the transportation costs continue to spiral out of control, particularly for students that may be in an out-of-district placement. Some of these can be upwards of like $500 a day. And so we're going to sort of band together as a North Shore and try to look at routing. And so, like, if there's a child in Beverly that goes to the same school as a child in Topsfield, and they're charging Beverly $500 a day and they're charging Topsfield $500 a day, can we figure out routing where they can put two kids on the bus and charge each of us $250 a day as opposed to $500 a day? Because that times 183 times multiple kids will add up to a significant amount of savings. So I'll keep you guys tuned in on this. It's something that we're just starting to kind of kick the tires on. But there's maybe a dozen North Shore communities that are looking to do this work and just share all of our mapping data and routing data and figure out, is there a better way to build this airplane, so to speak, to figure out if we can get some cost savings back to the district. So that is the quick update on that.
Okay. Great. And then our beloved policy updates.
Yes. So in the drive, and this went in today only because the policy subcommittee met Wednesday of last week. Antoinette and I met this morning to kind of make sure we had all the right policies in there. So those policies are in the drive. Dave and I will walk you through this. Dave again serves as the policy sub. I'm going to go in the order that they are in the agenda and not the order that they are in the drive. So I'll give you all a minute to find the policy subcommittee folder and then just tell me when you're ready to go.
Is it called policy subcommittee folder?
I think it's called policies. Just policies, Natasha.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you want me to email it to you real quick?
You sent it earlier, right?
Maybe just refresh the drive, see if it shows up. Could you pick up shoulders?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, policies. Okay, got it. Thank you.
You got it. Okay.
Joe, do you have it?
Hold on. You gotta go back here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You need, go back one more. Go 25. And go to.
Is it?
He's on the 6th.
Yeah, so click
Right here?
on that and then,
Yeah,
let me see. Oh, you're logged in as this. You got it?
I am now. Thank you.
No problem.
And then it's in this folder right here.
Thank you.
Double click on that.
About to pick these up and see if I can see them. Here it goes.
Yeah, the drives were very slow.
Mine is,
Click
yeah.
right there. Yeah, there you go.
all day.
Okay.
Over that. Even at the office.
It's sometimes
Yeah.
easier to view it as a list.
A list.
There, yeah.
You guys all in?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go in the order that they're on the agenda. So if you can find the one that reads IL in the drive, IL.
At the bottom, closer to the bottom.
And this is a...
Oh, we gotta waive BGB.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. I will make a motion to waive policy BGB.
Second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yep.
All right, IL is Evaluation of Instructional Programs per MASC, which is your organization. They are seeking and saying that we can remove this policy, the reason being that it's covered in other policies and therefore it's redundant. Policy Subcommittee approved of this, so bringing it forward to Middleton School Committee to motion to approve, to remove IL from the policy book.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to remove policy IL.
Second that motion.
Okay, all in favor to remove policy IL, say aye. Aye. Any nays?
All right, IMA is teaching activities and presentations. This is another one that MASC is saying we can remove from the policy book. Per MASC, it's the purview of administration to evaluate teacher performance, so IMA is actually out of date. And so subcommittee agreed after reviewing this, and the motion we'd be seeking tonight from the Middleton School Committee is to remove policy IMA from the policy book.
I'll make a motion to remove policy IMA.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
IHBA. This one is titled, it was originally titled Programs for Students with Disabilities. They have updated that to call it Student Services Program. And they got rid of that one little sentence there that says, in keeping with the intention of state of Massachusetts. It's just in order to offer educational opportunities. So it's changing the title, changing one sentence, approved by the policy subcommittee, seeking a motion to approve IHBA as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHBA as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
IHBD. B as in boy, D as in dog. This is compensatory education, or our Title I. As you may recall, Title I are grant funds that come into the district. The only change here is changing the cross-reference. So this policy already exists on our books, and they only updated the cross-reference to update for 2023, which is federal funds supplement, not supplant policy, approved by the subcommittee, seeking a motion for Middleton School Committee to approve IHBD as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHBD as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
IHBF. And on IHBF, you can see that this is homebound instruction, and they changed it to, instead of 2 weeks, 2-week period, they called it not less than 14 school days, so they just sort of changed the order of the sentence around on that. They updated the title. We no longer call it the Director of Pupil Services. It's the Assistant Superintendent of Student Services, and then changing the word certified to licensed. And so those revisions were brought forth by your organization, MASC, reviewed and approved by the policy subcommittee. So we bring to the Middleton School Committee tonight the policy IHBF as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve IHBF as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
IHBG. This is homeschooling. This is an existing policy on the books. Down the bottom, you can see there in the red, it's crossed out. It says a student with the approval of the school committee may be awarded a high school diploma if they have satisfied competency requirements. A, that doesn't even apply to us because we terminate at 6th grade. And B, it's something that MASC is recommending for removal. So be seeking a motion to approve IHBG as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHBG as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
IHBH. And this one is titled Alternative School Programs. If you read that first paragraph to yourself, it's just an editorial comment that really wasn't needed in the policy. It's just the policy can just start with the school committee will provide alternative education programs. They're giving all this sort of preamble and editorial that's not necessarily needed to be in there. So MASC recommends removing the editorial paragraph at the beginning. Policy subcommittee agreed with that, seeking a motion to approve IHBH as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHBH as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
IJ. Instructional materials, this policy exists currently. It's just literally updating the cross-reference to refer to IGA, IGD, which is a policy on curriculum development and adoption, presented to the subcommittee as a policy that had been approved by MASC. So seeking a motion from the Middleton School Committee to approve IJ as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IJ as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
All
Okay.
right. IHAM.
IHAM.
So this is our policy on health education. And we had a slight change to the existing policy. Again, this policy currently exists in our policy book. Dave and I spent some time going through all the health education policies. And the change to this is that opening sentence, good health depends upon continuous lifelong attention to scientific advances and the acquisition of new knowledge. Other than that, everything else after Dave and I in the policy subcommittee reviewed this stayed the same. He's seeking a motion to approve IHAM as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHAM as presented.
I second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay.
All right, IHAMA.
Wait a minute, I feel like I have two here.
There's an AMA 1 and an AMA.
Okay.
So like the one that says 1-1, go to the one that just says 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So IHAMA 1, not 1-1. So this is parental notification relative to sex education. So this is a policy that currently exists in our books as it relates to if we're talking about sex education. And so in red there, you will see items that have been updated. In accordance with the law, the school committee has adopted this policy on the rights of parents and guardians of our students in relation to curriculum that primarily involves human sexual education, human sexuality, and gender topics. You can see that there's a couple edits there in terms of in our schools, just sort of shortening some of those sentences. Upon a request for information regarding this curriculum, it will be provided. Each such notice to parent guardians will include a brief description of the curriculum covered. Parents must sign a consent form to allow their child to receive instruction in sex ed, human sexuality, and gender topics, but that no student shall receive such instruction unless the district has received a form. Number 2 is existing language. 3, all students whose parents or guardians have not consented to instruction in sexual education, human sexuality, and gender topics shall be given an alternative assignment. So this policy exists on the books. We brought this forward to the policy subcommittee after spending some time reviewing it, and the policy subcommittee agreed with the changes, so we'll be seeking a motion from the Middleton School Committee to approve IHAMA as revised, or as presented.
I will make a motion to approve IHAMA. Do I say 1?
No, just IHAMA.
IHAMA as presented.
I'll second that motion.
I just had one quick question. How are the consent going to be dispersed?
We would determine a paper policy at the school level to figure that out. The school department would work through that.
Okay.
In terms of seeking consent. So it's an active consent as opposed to a passive consent.
Okay.
So no different than we do for other programs.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
So now if you go to IHAMA 1-1, which is really just IHAMA 1, I don't know why the extra 1 got included in there. But the one that says 1-1. So this is a new policy. This policy does not exist in our policy book. This is something that the policy subcommittee worked on to adopt, and it's just putting some parameters around sex education programs. So in recognition of the fact that sexuality is fundamental to all life, school committee accepts the responsibility to provide information concerning it as part of the educational program. Although public schools have a responsibility to provide information concerning sexuality, it's the family and faith communities that provide the specific value system through which students translate knowledge into decisions and actions. In the Tri-Town, the goals of the instruction related to sexuality will be to adapt to this information to the age and grade level, promote, encourage, and increase communication between parents and children, increase decision-making, enhance and develop student self-esteem. Within the focus of these goals and at an appropriate age level and grade level, the information regarding human sexuality will include anatomy, physiology, and psychology of adolescence and sexual growth, legal aspects of sexual conduct, self-respect, self-control, and individual differences among people, and community resources. The study of these topics will center on the influence of physical and mental health and well-being and social, ethical, and legal consequences in these topics. Personnel involved in instruction in human sexuality will conduct instruction with maturity and discretion and in compliance with the spirit and intent of the law. Personnel providing instruction in human sexuality shall receive in-service training based on the district's approved health education curriculum. So this is just putting some definition around what programs would look like. Again, going back to the previous policy that if a parent did not want their child to participate in these programs, that active consent is required or an opt-out also. So this was reviewed and approved by the policy subcommittee, and so we'll be seeking a motion from the Middleton School Committee to adopt this policy as presented.
I will make a motion to adopt IHAMA 1 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays?
Appreciate Dave's work
Okay.
on all of these policies.
Oh, I had JJE.
Yep, so JJE, if you guys remember, this is the policy on fundraising. And remember MASC wanted to add something in there, there was a line about you cannot give an extra recess, or you couldn't make it a competition. And I had polled all the principals, and the principals are like, ooh, that's really gonna make fundraising difficult. So we brought that back to the policy subcommittee, and we decided just to leave that policy as is for now. It has not presented as a problem. So Dave, I don't know if you want to add to that, but I think we sort of decided
We
like.
spoke about it. I mean, there really hasn't been any issues surrounding that, so I said just keep the policy in place. I asked Scott if there's ever been an issue.
No issues.
Surrounding the policy, and it hasn't really been a problem now, so just keep it. So if there's gonna be some type of reward, if you wanna call it, or
Correct.
whatever, it's still gonna let that happen.
So all three towns, the members of all three towns kind of felt like, you know what, let's just leave that policy alone. We don't need to add that section. So we're pulling, so no JJE, you can cross out. It's not something we're bringing forward tonight.
Okay. And then we don't have a consent agenda, correct?
Bills and-
Summary in the drive.
Yeah, there is a summary in the drive. So you can vote it as presented.
Right.
Okay.
But it's in here if you want to look at it. Summary sheet maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Middleton School Committee summary sheet. Bills and payroll.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the bills and payroll as presented.
Second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? All right, good job, guys.
Yeah,
Very good.
Thank you very much.
You're in the books.
Nicely done. Landed the plane early.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.